It's something that can bring down the most mighty of armies, but not you. You're different. Drinking dragon blood has twisted you into a darker form of yourself. Your hands have become claws, and hard spikes have begun to sprout from your spine. You are the embodiment of a starved, slumbering dragon. Hunger now fuels your rage, and the more you rely on its power, the more you'll be consumed by it. Your once precise attacks become an all-out frenzy. You claw at enemies with ferocious intent. You roll and flail at enemies, damaging them with your scale-like skin and armor plating. And finally, your warhorn reenacts that of a dragon's roar. What's going on, YouTube? Chop Celery here, and welcome to my Ravenous Reaver build in Dragon Age Inquisition, specifically for Nightmare difficulty, in addition to the Even Ground and Walk Softly trials being on. I honestly love playing as a Reaver. It was actually the first class, or excuse me, the first specialization that I chose when I first picked up this game, like when the game first came out. I just have always really enjoyed, obviously a melee, like warrior type class, but the risk-reward, aggressive kind of play style as a Reaver, it's just something I've always been, attracted to and kind of just fell in love with. So, all right, that's enough of my rant. But as always, I'll make sure I review my abilities. I'll go over what my attributes are at, in addition to like any of the stats, followed by my equipment, and then I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to straight-up gameplay. All right, Lana, let's go ahead and talk about my abilities first. Now, starting off with the Reaver tree, I do pick up Ring of Pain, but I don't have any upgrades for it. I sometimes use it, but I just don't think it's really that worth it. Blood Frenzy, this passive is probably one of the most important out of this tree. So every single 10% of health that you have missing, you're going to gain an additional 5% damage bonus. So honestly, you really, you want to try to keep your health relatively safe, but you're going to pull out bigger numbers. The more hurt you are, the closer to death you are. Terrifying Fury, you just have, your critical strikes have a fear chance of 25%. I don't really see this proccing too much, in all honesty. Devour, this is how you, it's like a lifesteal ability. This is how we gain our health back, because for Dragon Rage, and then I also pick up Ravage, you're using your own health to deal damage. So that's where we have Devour with the upgrade of Lifeblood. It's just our Devour is now going to heal for, it's going to heal more damage. So that, in short, is just the Reaver tree. I do pick up Rampage. I have used this before. I don't know. I haven't found a whole lot of situations that really merit it, but it is always just fun just to pop that and go. I don't put anything into the weapon and shield. I do put a couple points into the two-handed tree. I have block and slash, but I don't have it on. Flow of battle, so every time you get a critical hit, it reduces the cooldown on your ability. That's okay, I guess. But more so, I wanted to get Pommel Strike, just because in case you don't want to use Rampage, you could put this on. Just because when you stun an enemy, there's another passive, I believe, in the Battle Master tree that you deal more damage to stunned enemies. So you could honestly, do Charging Bull. When they get up, you could use Pommel Strike, stun them, and then you're just going to be able to pull out more damage. Okay. So moving over to the Battle Master tree, I do put a decent amount of points into this. I don't use Grappling Chain. Crippling Blows, we pick up Combat Roll and Coming Through. So this is a really heavy hitting ability, especially with the rotation that I have. Coup de Grace, so you deal more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked down. So that's why I was just talking about that with the passive. So if you use Pommel Strike, you'll stun them, and then you can just do 30% more damage to them. And then Horn of Valor I pick up along with Fortifying Blast. Now I could have gone for That's the Spirit, but with the upgrade, That's the Spirit, I mean, sure, yeah, you do get more damage and armor bonus during that time, but that's only going to be temporary. So the reason I chose Fortifying Blast is every single time that you use this, you and your allies are going to gain guard each time that they deal damage to an enemy. I believe this also stacks on me because I can see the buff on mine, like when I'm, playing as Iron Bull. But just in terms of like a theme for this kind of build, obviously, because, you're basically part dragon, you drank dragon blood, it made me think of some of the lizards or any of that other stuff that they can harden their scales and such when they're regenerating. So that's just kind of why. Don't judge me. I'm a nerd. Moving over to the Vanguard Tree, I do pick up Warcry. I don't use it though. I have untouchable defense just because I wanted to get a maximum guard bonus. I pick up Charging Bull and Gore and Trample, so that way when you're done using Charging Bull, your next ability isn't going to cost you any stamina, so that's just good for your rotation. It'll cost you. Enemies that melee you are going to take 50% of the damage that they inflict on you back to them, just because we are going to be in melee combat all the time. It just makes sense to pick that up. Cutting words, so when an enemy is taunted, you're going to do more damage to them. I couldn't really figure out what else to put a point into, so that's just why I put it here. You could essentially trade off Warcry for Livid, or vice versa. But I do use Livid. This is one of my main staples of my rotation. It actually doesn't cost you anything. And then I pick up Still Standing just to increase the guard amount that I have. So that has just been my abilities in short. For the attributes, keep in mind I am max level, but I do have 110 strength, 16 cunning, 16 constitution. My attack percentage is 105. Guard damage bonus is 100%. Armor penetration, I got that up to 62%. Critical damage bonus, that's just right out of the box. I haven't increased that at all, and my critical chance is 17%. I do have a ring that gives me heal on kill, which is good, and then I did give myself a couple more defense for like magic, melee, ranged, all that kind of stuff. And I have 1151 health. So that has been my character record. Now let's go ahead and talk about my my gear. So I crafted this two-handed axe, and I have on the superb demon slaying rune, giving me plus 50 damage to demons. And then I put on a strong brutal haft and strong brutal pommel. So giving me 42% armor penetration, plus 46% attack, plus 36 health. And then for the masterwork, I decided to put on heal 25% of the damage that you've taken over 10 seconds. I feel like because majority of the time we will have guard, we're going to be pretty agile in terms of using like that combat roll. We are able to heal ourselves slowly over time just based off the damage that we deal to ourselves. And it's actually, I think this is pretty powerful. Moving down to armor, I'm using this helmet, Cretal Vitar, I'm not sure how to say that. I know I looted this from some place. I don't remember where though. Oh, I'm having a brain fart. Okay, I can't really remember where I picked this up, but I'm using this because it gives me an additional plus 9% attack, plus 9% crit chance, and that just gives me some maximum health, which is good, since we are using our health to deal damage. Or we're losing health as we deal damage, so the more health we have, the more damage we can pump out. And then for the chest piece, I crafted this. I gave myself plus 20% heal bonus, which I wanted to stack with my Ring of Life steel. I get plus 16% range defense, plus 23 strength, and my masterwork is on hit. I gain 5 guard. I figured that would be good for survivability, just because we are going to be spamming our dragon rage ability. And then I have the Sigil of the Great Bear, just giving me plus 100% maximum mana, stamina. You could put on I believe it's the Sigil of the Bronto, which will give you plus 100% maximum guard. You could definitely do that. I just chose to use the Sigil of the Great Bear, just in the off chance that I do want to put down Ring of Pain. At least I will have a decent amount of stamina to run through, so it's not like it's going to be just a once and done kind of thing. Now moving down to my accessories, I am using the superb Amulet of Strength. I mean, if you can get Amulet of the Warrior, like the rare, not the unique version when you first start out, that's good. I would just pump up Strength. That's a good one. I have the superb Belt of Health on, which, because we are losing health every time we attack, we definitely want to have more health. I put on the superb Ring of Armor Penetration just because I wanted to have at least a pretty high armor penetration as it is to negate their armor rating so we can deal more damage. And then, like I said, I have the superb Ring of Life Drain on, so I get plus 10% healing when an enemy dies. So, all right, friends, that has been my build in short, and now, as always, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to real-time gameplay. So I hope you've enjoyed. All right, take care, friends. Bye-bye.